Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another off-meta deck tech video. Today I've got a really fun one here for you guys. I've been working on this for the past few days, and I think I've really settled on the best iteration that I can come up with for this deck. And it's got a really kind of unique idea behind it. I don't think I've faced any kind of deck quite like this one, and it stars one particular card that is practically... I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually use it against me. First of all, shout out to the person in my last video where I mentioned that the non-EX Starmie I thought was the only Pokemon in the game that had a 1 energy cost attack but 0 retreat cost, and they said no, there's Dodrio, and I'm like, wow, yeah, you're totally right, I forgot about Dodrio. So I set out to actually make a deck that can utilize Dodrio in a way that works, and hopefully I'm able to demonstrate and explain that for you guys here today. But let's talk about my, as I call it, speed limit deck, because we've got two super fast Pokemon in the lore and also in the game with Dodrio and Rapidash. So starting off here, we've got the new Ponyta. The new Ponyta is excellent, in my opinion, way better than the previous one. How would you not want a 1 energy coin flip that has the potential to do 40 damage? I mean, it's super excellent. Absolutely make sure you're using the new Ponyta instead of the old Ponyta. Followed up by the new Magmar. The new Magmar, I haven't been seeing much of, honestly, because most people that are running fire decks are running, something with Moltres. There's probably a lot of other better cards that you can pair with Moltres, but I think I found a really good way to make Magmar work in a hyper-aggressive, fast-paced deck. So we're using the new Magmar, which is definitely like the game finisher, the game winner here most of the time. The old Rapidash. Now, the new Rapidash is really good. That's the one that does 40 damage, or you can coin flip for an additional 60 damage for 100 damage total, but that costs 2 energy, and that really makes or breaks the idea behind this deck. And that is why I did some testing, and I've settled on the old Rapidash for this deck in particular, and it works really, really well. You can toy around with using the new Rapidash and let me know your findings and how you think it works, but for the purpose of this deck, I went with the old Rapidash. And then the odd, weird inclusion is the Doduo, whatever. You got to play him to get to the Dodrio. But the reason that we're playing the Dodrio is because he has that 0 retreat cost. The 0 retreat cost comes into play in this deck because it pairs really well with the Magmar. So the basic idea behind the deck is the ideal starting turn, right? The ideal scenario here that I've had, quite a few times. You get Doduo in your opening hand, ideally with the Dodrio. You get your Dodrio out as soon as possible. You throw an energy on it. You get off an attack for 40 damage. And then hopefully by then you have your Magmar on the back line. So the idea would be to get an attack off with the Dodrio. Maybe it absorbs 1 or 2 hits. You retreat it for, most importantly, 0 retreat cost to your bench, right? And then hopefully by then you have at least 1 energy on your Magmar, because you had him on your back line. Maybe you were able to throw 1 onto him, and then he comes out and you apply the second energy. Okay, he does his 80 damage, potentially 110 damage with the Blaine, because the Blaine applies the additional 30 damage for Magmar and Rapidash. And then, okay, you're sitting with a Magmar with no energy, because when you attack with this Magmar, it discards 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. So that is why I am running also additionally 2 Leaf. The Leaf is in this deck specifically for Magmar. Now, if the Magmar dies, that's okay, because our energy cost in this deck is so low. Even if the Magmar gets killed, it kind of acts as a sacrifice. Dealing 80 to 110 damage is nothing to scoff at all, especially in the early game. You can put back in your Dodrio, but here's why Dodrio's in this deck. All right, let's just say we get that scenario where you don't have Leaf in hand and your Magmar takes 1 or 2 hits and gets killed. The thing is with Dodrio, because you retreated it with 0 retreat cost, first of all, you're saving space in your deck for not having to run things like X-Speed. That is why there's no X-Speed in this deck, just the Leaf for the Magmar, because you really don't need it with Dodrio. And that frees up more room in your deck for more flexibility, more cards, more tech cards, more support cards, more item cards. And then when Dodrio comes back in, guess what? He's still got that energy that you had on him to attack before. So you get 1 more attack in with the Dodrio. Maybe he gets killed off, or maybe you're able to retreat him again. And then in the turn where you bring the Dodrio into the active slot, you're able to take that energy and apply it to the Rapidash. You're able to apply it to maybe your first or your second Magmar. So the idea is, because the energy cost in this deck is so low, and because you're able to sometimes preserve using an energy to attack with Dodrio, since you retreated him with 0 retreat cost, you can easily take your fire energy and keep applying it to Magmar, if that makes sense. All right, so I kind of just wanted to explain the basic idea behind the deck, and I'm going to hopefully show you guys how it works here. But just real quick, we're also running 2 Pokeballs, 2 Professor's Research, 2 Blaine, 1 Giovanni for that extra little bit of surprise burst damage, and 1 Sabrina. I also have the deck displayed on screen underneath my webcam now. Hopefully you guys like that new inclusion in the layout here. But what do you say we get started, and let's jump into a game and hopefully demonstrate how this deck works. Alright, let's see what we're going up here for our first opponent. I kind of hope it's not a grass deck, because for these videos, I usually like to demonstrate against decks that have neutral weaknesses. Just for the purpose of, you know, demonstrating how it can work without applying weakness damage. Alright, we're going up against Psychic. It's probably going to be a Mewtwo deck. Let's see. Okay, we do have the Dodrio start, and this is what I talked about. Hopefully with that Pokeball, I can pull the Magmar. Or, I mean, the Ponyta is fine too. Alright. Little bit of a not super ideal start for them. They didn't draw a Mew or a Mewtwo. But this is still one of the best decks in the game, so just hopefully being able to show that this deck can beat a Mewtwo deck should hopefully give you guys a good idea of how everything works with the comboing of this speed limit deck. Alright, well, they got them there. Maybe this was according to plan. We'll see. Maybe they wanted the Worlds out first. I don't know. Alright. Let's see if we can hit Magmar. We do get the Magmar. Very nice. Fortunately, we cannot evolve into the Dodrio quite yet, so we're just going to use this as a card draw opportunity. I do have the Leaf, which means after my Magmar gets his attack off, he can safely retreat. Let's get a little bit of that chip damage in with the Doduo. And if they, for some reason, though I highly suspect they will, if they don't retreat their Ralts, it is dead next turn. Maybe they don't know that Dodrio does 40 damage. We'll find out. Oh boy, that is a beefy bench. Oh boy, they are taking off right now. If I can beat this deck, I will be very impressed, honestly. Okay, they did have to use a Leaf to get it out. Okay, I think I'm probably going to keep the Dodrio in. I'm not going to retreat it into the Magmar yet. Evolve into Dodrio. Right? Put the energy on the Magmar, start building him. Dodrio kind of acts as a tank. It's only 80 HP, but he can tank usually a hit or two in the early game and then retreat for free. Right? Like, that is the idea behind having him in the deck. So we're going to get our chip damage off here. And then look at this. Even if they potion, we're set up next turn to kill the Mew. Are they ready for the Magmar? Like, are they seeing the play ahead of time here? Do they see the 111 damage coming next turn with Blaine? I mean, it's at least 80, even 90 with the Giovanni. Let's see what they do here. If they don't retreat, ooh, they are going for the Drill Peck. Probably the first and only time this Mew is ever going to be using Drill Peck with genome hacking. Alright. So here we go. This is where this deck really starts to shine. Apply the energy to the Magmar. Retreat the Dodrio for free, and we keep him on the back line for that potential 40 extra damage at a later point. Maybe we need 40 damage later. Dodrio, really an underrated star of this deck. I've used him so many times for surprise attacks and retreats. Okay, we get the Ponyta. We're setting up that Rapidash in the back line. We got double Blaine. This is looking really good right now, actually. Alright, just make sure we're not doing any misplays. Which I almost did. We're going to use the Giovanni here. We got that Leaf for the retreat next turn. This is looking good. I think even if I lose this matchup, I'm still going to include this one in the video, because I think this is a really good showing of the potential of this deck and what you can do with it. Alright, they got that Mewtwo, and they do have the Gardevoir on the back line, though. Let's see what we can do. We're going to have to deal some fast, aggressive damage here. But they have to take out 3 of my Pokemon. I only have to take out 1 more, which is obviously probably going to have to be this Mewtwo. So let's see what we can do. Let's think this through a little bit. Let's evolve our Ponyta. So obviously we're going to leaf the Magmar to get him out of here. I won't be able to Blaine the Rapidash because I would have used the leaf. So I think in this case we're going to put in the Dodrio, deal the 40 damage. We'll have the Magmar in the back line, and maybe I build the Magmar. I think that's what we do. We build the Magmar for that second Blaine hit. Okay, leaf out the Magmar. Put in the... Yeah, I'm going to put in the Dodrio. I want to save that Rapidash just in case. Put in the Dodrio. We're going to start building up the energy on Magmar for his second attack. Get the 40 chip damage in. And now the Mewtwo is set up for the kill next turn with Magmar. You guys see? You see why I have Dodrio in here with Magmar? It works so well. That retreat, early game with that Dodrio, being able to keep that energy on Dodrio, has come full circle, right? I didn't have to apply an energy to attack with him. He does have 40 damage, acts as a sacrifice. They do have the potion, which is probably the one thing that could save them. But think of the scenario, though, where they didn't have a potion, right? Like, at least you're able to start seeing what this deck can do. Okay. So, we're going to send in the Magmar. I think I'm going to bluff the Blaine. Do I bluff the Blaine? I don't want to deal too much damage and have them retreat. I think we bluff the Blaine. So, I want them to think that I don't have an additional 30 damage on hand. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I would need 50 damage. So in their mind, I won't be able to kill with the Rapidash. I want them to keep this Mewtwo in. Oh, man. I can deal 111, but then they are absolutely going to retreat that Mewtwo. I don't want them to do that. We're going to bluff it. I know this might look like a crazy play, but I do think this is the play. I'm actually not even going to Professor's Research. I know this is crazy because if I Professor's Research, they know that I will have pulled into my Blaine. Sometimes bluffing in this game is underrated. Like, I want them to think that I cannot Blaine right now, and then I'm like waiting for it at the bottom of my deck. Right? Think about it. If this Mewtwo had 20, they know that they have to kill one more additional Pokemon, and I'm going to send my Rapidash in and not get the kill. Yeah, they got the retreat. That's okay. They saw it. They probably know I have a Blaine in hand. I was trying to make them think I didn't. Oh, let's see. I do still have that Sabrina. Sabrina could maybe... Nah, I think that might be over. Yeah. But they saw through my plays. That potion saved them. But I think this is a really good highlight of what this deck can do. Right? I hope you guys can see the idea behind this and how close we came to beating this like absolutely crazy start for a Mewtwo deck. They went off. So we'll just see what the next couple draws would have been. Here's a Dodrio and our Doduo hiding in the bottom there. That was a good game though. I will concede this one to them. Like I said, in my videos, I will put games in that I do lose as long as I feel like it's a good showcase of the potential of the deck. Let's get another one, though, and see if we can actually get a win. Okay, we have a game where we're starting with Ponyta and 2 Dodrios. We're up against water. Okay, so this is... If I can beat a water deck, which I have as I was testing this deck quite a few times, I think that'll be a really good indicator that this deck is pretty good, right? If I can beat a water deck. We're going up against Blastoise. Wow, I haven't seen a Blastoise deck in a long time, actually, since the start of this new expansion. Blastoise and Gyarados, interesting. Let's get that Doduo. There he is, perfect. Since we have 2 Dodrios in my hand, might as well pull them, right? And there's a second Doduo. Wow, we are set up right now. Do I want to go for the 40? I think I want to try and go for that coin flip, because then the Doduo can confirm the kill when I retreat. And I'm okay with using a leaf to retreat the Ponyta as well, if I have to. Okay, they're going for the 40 damage here with the weakness. No, they're retreating. into the Gyarados. Alright, well, hopefully they don't get some lucky Misty coin flips. They also could have potioned an attack with the Squirtle for 40 damage. I guess they were banking on me hopefully not coin flipping and killing them again with the coin flip on heads. Alright, so let's double evolve here. And I think we're going to force out that Squirtle. I think we're going to force it out. I don't want him building Blastoise. So we're going to Sabrina here. We'll deal with the Gyarados after, but I want to make sure I'm taking care of that back line from building. Because that is a huge tank on Gyarados. If he can get Blastoise online with Gyarados, we are in trouble. Another Ponyta. I'm going to hold off because I want to make sure I don't fill my bench in case I pull the Magmar. Alright, well, a lucky Misty coin flip or two definitely wins them the game right here. So let's see what happens. They're going to have to fail their Misty flips for me to have a chance here. A blue. Interesting. Okay. Don't see that card often. Alright, there is our Magmar, and that is why we did not fill the bench. And now we're just going to start building the Magmar. And we're going to get our chip damage in with our Dodrio. Watch that blue come back to save them and win the game because they negated that 10 damage this early. Wow, they're running a very eclectic variety deck. A potion. They really want that. Maybe they're just running Gyarados as a tank. Just to, like, allow themselves to build Blastoise and Starmie in the background. Sounds like an interesting idea. Alright, so we can get off the Blaine this turn, 111 damage. I do have Leaf in hand, so I think we are going to do that. I gotta start whittling this thing down before it gets out of hand. So, retreat into the Magmar. Blaine it. 111 damage. They're gonna have to have a leaf or something here very soon to get that Gyarados out of there. Alright, Starmie. That Starmie can definitely completely destroy me. Nothing, it's just gonna one-shot everything for next to no energy, but are they gonna retreat into the Starmie? Wow, I'm pretty sure this person's running every water Pokemon in the game in this deck. I wasn't expecting the Articuno. They retreat the Gyarados into the Starmie, which honestly is probably the only play they could have done there to stay in the game. But they are on the ropes right now. Alright, we got double Leaf, which means we are going to Leaf. And this is, even though this is a really weird matchup right now, but this does show you how this deck works. You retreat the Magmar into the Dodrio, and then because we retreated the Dodrio, once again, without having to pay the energy to retreat, yes, you can use an X speed, but having Dodrio saves 2 card slots in your deck because guess what? He has an X speed built in. This allows me to take the energy, and instead of applying it to the Ponyta or Dodrio to attack, we put it on the Magmar, okay? Hopefully you guys are seeing how this deck is supposed to function. And then guess what? Next turn, we're allowed to freely retreat the Dodrio again, and we can use our energy instead to put on the Magmar and get that 80 damage off, potentially 110 with the second Blaine. And that is how the deck works. I hope you guys have been enjoying this one. I was pretty proud of coming up with this deck. I've had a lot of fun with it. It's got pretty good win rate, too, against a lot of the meta decks because it's just so hyper fast and aggressive. A lot of decks in the game right now are aggressive through EX cards, but usually those EX cards take a few turns to build up to get to the point where they just, like, stomp you and overrun you. But this deck is geared to just go, go, go from the first starting hand. So if you're able to get a really, decent start, you pull that Magmar, you pull that Dodrio, and you pull a single Blaine, a lot of decks really can't handle it. All right, they are just retreating and going. I really need to pull that Sabrina. I think in this instance I am going to. Oh man. Let's see. Do I go for the Sabrina pull? No, I think we stick with our original plan. We get that, we show that dominance with that 80 damage on Magmar, because they're still not going to be able to kill me with this Articuno unless they Misty Flip. If they Misty Flip, good for them. But yeah, we're committing to this Magmar damage, even with the Sabrina. Alright, let's do this. Just in case they're running red cards, you never know. Alright, treat the Dodrio. I do have that second leaf, so this Magmar is free once again to get out afterwards. I love this new Magmar. He looks awesome with that like flame meteor flare. For those of you that don't know what the flare is, if you haven't played around with them much yet, I didn't realize this until like a few days ago, but if you like that meteor flare, you don't just buy it once. You have to buy it like multiple times for each Magmar. So you need a lot of like copies of certain cards to get a flare that you like on every copy of the card, like both copies of the card that you have. All right. And that, everybody, is GG. Yep. I would have leafed the Magmar out. I would have put the Rapidash in. Would have put the energy on Rapidash, because the energy cost of this deck is so low, and I would have Blained and killed the Articuno. That was a really weird deck, but man, being able to beat a deck with a bunch of really powerful EX cards that has my weakness, I think really shows off the potential of this deck. Let's try and do one more. Let's try and get up against a deck that is a little less strange. Okay, so we are dealing with a starting hand with Doduo and Magmar. Really nice ideal opening hand and a Blaine. We're up against a grass deck. I usually don't like going up against decks that are weak to my element, but let's see what we can pull off here. If it's a Celebi deck, I won't mind anyway. Let's destroy him. Perfect. Whoa, a Scyther. Interesting. That is like the first time I've seen that card in this game. Maybe they're just going for a very aggressive aggro-style grass deck? I'm not sure. Let's see, maybe it'll do something for him. Let's get that early Doduo damage. So next turn, we'll evolve into the Dodrio. We'll attack with Dodrio for 40 additional damage. I'll put my energy on the Magmar. And then next turn, I will retreat the Dodrio, put the Magmar in, put my second energy on the Magmar, and he will deal 111 damage. Which would kill the Celebi. And then some. They're probably going to Erica the Celebi, or potion it at least. So let's see what happens. They would have the double potion. Well, actually, double potion wouldn't even save them. They'd have to Erica to save the Celebi. Unless they get lucky coin flips. Unless they get 2 head flips, which, you know, can happen. Ooh, this is an interesting choice here. I have to bank on them missing their coin flips, but getting rid of that Celebi early game, I think, is the play. We don't want that thing to get off the ground. I think we go for the sacrifice on the Dodrio. We start building the Magmar. Let me do the math here real quick. So Blaine would be 111. Okay, 40 damage here would bring them down to 90. If they Erica, it brings them back up to 130. So yeah, I don't have to use Giovanni this turn. I was just trying to figure out if I would have needed to have applied 10 additional damage or not here. But it would not matter. Even if they potion here, it's still 111 damage. Alright, so even if they kill the Dodrio here, I'm still able to kill the Celebi. I'm sorry, Celebi. This is probably going to be a concede on their end, but let's enjoy this moment. It's always a nice moment when you can take down a Celebi deck. Free retreat. Into the Magmar. Even though this game here was kind of a blowout, I think this really shows you guys the potential of the deck and how this Dodrio Magmar combo works with that Rapidash on backup for that 40 to 70 damage for just 1 energy. I hate to beat up on a grass deck with a fire deck, but when it's Celebi, I don't feel so bad about it. I think they just rage quit and turned off their phone because the timer's running out. They're totally going to run the timer out for 80 seconds. They're back. They didn't leave. They just had to comprehend what just happened with that Magmar. I think we bring... I can go for the Scyther kill. Another Celebi. Do they attack or do they go for the retreat? They go for the retreat into the Celebi. Alright, we're just going to have to do it all over again. Nothing to worry about. Okay, I mean, it is something to worry about if they get that backline developing. Alright, so let's think about this. They would have to put 1 energy. They'd have to get a double heads coin flip next turn with 1 energy on Celebi to kill the Magmar. I think we still preserve the Magmar on the backline. So I think we definitely leaf the Magmar out, put the Dodrio in to get that chip damage. Yeah. And because I have to leaf to get the Magmar out, I can't Sabrina here, so I think we just have to commit to killing the Celebi again. Plus, I'm pretty sure they're going to keep X-speeding and leafing whatever I bring to the front to keep getting that Celebi in there, so I think it would be a futile attempt to kill anything else. However, if they don't evolve the Servine next turn... Okay, never mind, they evolved it. I was going to say I can just Sabrina and kill what's on the back line. Alright, even if the Dodrio gets killed here, we win because the Magmar will go in and get the weakness damage. The power of that chip damage from that Dodrio that still had... It's coming full circle, right? You're starting to see it. Because I had that free retreat on the Dodrio, he still had his energy attached from earlier in the game. I'm able to put the Magmar in next turn and put the energy on him and get the kill. Because we were able to deal that 40 additional damage from the Dodrio. Man, this person's having a bad day, boy. I almost feel bad. I almost feel bad. You know what? They seem to be having a really bad day, and I'm feeling like I'm in a really good mood. I'm going to give them this win. Congratulations. They deserved it. Double tails coin flip on the Celebi. Come on, Peekapoo. There you go. There's your free win. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more off-meta deck tech videos, and I really appreciate all the awesome feedback you guys have been giving me in the comments, playing my decks, enjoying them, and I got some other fun stuff brewing. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll see you guys in the next video.